Economy. Biden's perspective. President Biden highlighted his administration's achievements in job creation, economic recovery, post-pandemic, and efforts to support working families. He emphasized the importance of a fair tax system and criticized the previous administration's tax cuts for the wealthy, which he argued increased the national debt and economic inequality. Biden struggled with his delivery due to a hoarse voice, possibly affecting the impact of his arguments. Trump's counterpoints. Trump countered by claiming that the economy was stronger during his tenure, although his statements contained several inaccuracies. He criticized Biden's handling of inflation and rising costs, particularly for gas and food, and argued that his policies had led to economic instability. Trump also highlighted his tax cuts, arguing that they spurred economic growth and benefited all Americans. Illegal immigration. Biden's approach. Biden focused on a balanced approach to immigration, advocating for humane policies while maintaining border security. He criticized Trump's previous immigration policies as inhumane and counterproductive, emphasizing the need for comprehensive immigration reform. Biden's stance aimed to appeal to both progressive voters and moderates concerned about border security. Trump's stance. Trump leaned heavily into his hardline stance on immigration, promising stricter border controls and accusing Biden of failing to manage the border crisis effectively. He argued that Biden's policies had led to increased illegal immigration and posed a threat to national security. This rhetoric resonated with his supporters, who view immigration as a critical issue. January 6th, Capitol insurrection. Biden's criticism. Biden did not shy away from addressing Trump's role in the January 6th insurrection. He accused Trump of inciting the violence and failing to take action to stop it. Biden argued that those involved should be held accountable and criticized Trump for defending them. He framed the insurrection as a direct attack on democracy and used it to question Trump's fitness for office. Trump's defense. Trump was unapologetic about his actions on January 6th, deflecting blame to then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and defending those convicted for their roles in the insurrection. He maintained that his administration was respected globally, a claim that Biden disputed. Trump's defense aimed to rally his base by portraying the insurrectionists as patriots wrongfully persecuted. Age and fitness for office. Concerns about Biden. At 81, Biden's age and fitness for office were significant talking points. His performance during the debate, marked by a hoarse voice and occasional loss of train of thought, raised concerns about his capability to serve another term. These issues were amplified by his inability to consistently deliver strong responses, leading some Democrats to question whether he should remain the nominee. Trump's age. Trump, at 78, also faced scrutiny regarding his age, but used Biden's perceived frailty to his advantage. He questioned Biden's stability and ability to sustain a coherent conversation for an extended period. Trump's campaign has consistently tried to portray Biden as too old and frail to effectively lead the country. Personal attacks and insults. Biden's aggression. Biden repeatedly attacked Trump personally, bringing up Trump's recent felony conviction and alleged comments about World War I veterans. He used these points to try and provoke Trump, calling into question Trump's character and moral standing. Biden's strategy was to paint Trump as morally unfit for the presidency. Trump's retorts. Trump responded with his own set of personal attacks, often deflecting from policy discussions. He accused Biden of being a liar and questioned his mental acuity. Trump's supporters found these moments particularly appealing, reinforcing their belief in Trump's fitness over Biden's. Election integrity. Biden's assurance. Biden aimed to reassure voters about the integrity of the upcoming election. He criticized Trump for not committing to accepting the election results, pointing out Trump's history of promoting conspiracy theories about election fraud. Biden emphasized the importance of upholding democratic norms and restoring faith in the electoral process. Trump's evasion. Trump avoided a clear commitment to accepting the election results, reminiscent of his stance in the 2020 election. He continued to cast doubt on the electoral process, which has been a cornerstone of his narrative since his loss in 2020. Foreign policy, Biden's record. Biden highlighted his administration's achievements in foreign policy, including efforts to rebuild alliances and strengthen international cooperation. He contrasted this with Trump's America First policy, which he argued isolated the US on the global stage. Trump's argument: Trump defended his foreign policy record, claiming that the US was more respected during his tenure. He criticized Biden's approach as weak and ineffective, particularly in dealing with adversaries like China and Russia. Trump's foreign policy stance focuses on projecting strength and prioritizing American interests. Abortion. Biden's position. Biden reaffirmed his commitment to protecting abortion rights, emphasizing the importance of women's autonomy over their bodies. He criticized Republican-led efforts to restrict abortion access, framing it as an attack on women's rights. Biden's stance aims to mobilize voters concerned about reproductive rights. Trump's view: Trump maintained his pro-life stance, supporting stricter abortion laws and appealing to his conservative base. He argued that his policies reflect the values of many Americans who oppose abortion. Social safety net and tax policy. Biden's advocacy. Biden highlighted his administration's efforts to strengthen the social safety net, including expanding healthcare access and social welfare programs. Biden's tax policy focuses on increasing taxes for the wealthy to fund social programs. Trump's critique. Trump criticized Biden's tax policies, claiming they stifle economic growth and burden businesses. He advocated for tax cuts and reducing government spending, positioning himself as a champion of free market principles. Public reaction, Democratic response. The debate elicited mixed reactions from Democrats. Some were concerned about Biden's performance and called for discussions on whether he should continue as the nominee. Vice President Kamala Harris defended Biden, acknowledging a slow start but praising his strong finish. Many Democrats, however, were energized by Biden's attacks on Trump and his commitment to key issues. Republican reaction. Republicans largely viewed the debate as a victory for Trump. They praised his attacks on Biden and his defense of his policies. The debate reinforced their belief in Trump's leadership and criticism of Biden's presidency. Trump's supporters were particularly encouraged by his aggressive stance and defense of his record. Memorable quotes. Finally, we extracted a list of some of the highlights in terms of quotes from both candidates. We are closer to World War III. You have the morals of an alley cat. Afghanistan exit most embarrassing day in the history of our country. Take a look at what Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. Zelensky is the greatest salesman in the world. The only person on this stage that is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at now. I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows either. Economists said that if he was re-elected, we could have a recession. Joe could be a convicted felon with all the things he has done. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. It would help us to be motivated to do content like this in the future.